The road to classroom observations. The classroom observation form as presented by Van Tassel, Baskin, and Fang gives gifted and talented evaluators a structured checklist to observe which qualities gifted teachers are showing in their classroom instruction. As described by Van Tassel, Baskin, and Fang, the classroom observation form is used to conduct the classroom observations and the analysis of database created by the application in multiple instructional contexts. By creating an observation form, gifted program evaluators are able to somewhat standardize the findings in the inherently subjective observations. There are 9 key areas of the classroom observation form, or COF, that contain 40 questions on which observers are to focus. The 9 key areas that observers are to look for are curriculum planning, expectations for learners, accommodation to individual learners, curriculum delivery features, general teaching strategies, critical thinking strategies, problem-solving strategies, metacognition, and classroom extensions. All 9 of these areas provide a strong base for instruction in both gifted and talented areas, as well as regular classroom instruction areas. In a 2012 article by Van Tassel-Baskin in Gifted Child Today, a partner form of the COF was the COSR form, or the Classroom Observational Scale Revised form. An example of the COSR form is provided in the article and contains what appears to be a scaled measurement or ranking in the presence of best practices in classroom observation. This is quite different from the 2004 COF, where it appears that either the behaviors of the teachers were observed or were not observed, and a scaled ranking was not present. Also different in these two forms was the fact that the COF from 2004 contained a more extensive 40-point observation, whereas the COSR form from 2012 contained only 25 points, for which observers need pay mind. It appears that throughout the years, the COF morphed into a more user-friendly, teacher-friendly, and accurate method of observation in the 2012 revised form. While the classroom observations will always be subjective based on the observations of the evaluator who is working with a specific classroom, there are certain tools that are now available to evaluators to further orientate themselves with the happenings of the classroom. One of the amazing new tools now available to evaluators and educators alike in the field of classroom observation is the Reflect system, developed by a grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. This technology goes beyond simply recording the teacher in his or her element in the classroom, which is the usual job of the evaluator. The Reflect system breaks through the human limitations of a regular classroom observer and actually gives a 360-degree view of the classroom. This allows observers to see the behavior of not only the teacher, but also of the students, as well as the reaction of the teacher. This system also allows teachers to install multiple microphones throughout the classroom to hear discussions between the students, murmured questions that are not actually asked by the students, or to simply capture chatter during the lesson. Jay Waters, in a report from 2011 on the Reflect system of observation, commented that the 360-degree system allows observers to capture a more holistic view of the lesson, including what is being written on the board, student commentary, and one-on-one discussions being held between the teacher and individual students. This technology, in conjunction with Van Tassel-Baskin's COF 2004 or COSR 2012, would provide a second or third pair of objective eyes, so to say, on the classroom environment with the option of multiple playbacks. Observers could then, says Waters, look for 1 or 2 teaching phenomenon at a time. Yet another new technological advancement that Waters cites in his article is the Kenexa System, which is a classroom supplement that has the capability not only to track what co-founder Mickey Ravenel calls a typical student performance metric, but also what he calls the nuts and bolts of good practice. Things like how long it took a particular teacher to grade a student's work and get it back to him, how quickly another teacher responds to his or her emails, and how often a teacher is holding parent-teacher or student conferences. With this new technology, in addition to the COF form or COSR form, evaluators of gifted programs could be able to evaluate classroom practices with a better picture of what is actually occurring in the classroom and outside of the classroom, rather than just simply capturing one snapshot by one class's observation on one particular day and basing program improvements off that one set of data. Despite the new technology and added benefit that it brings, there is still criticism of classroom observations. The primary criticism of classroom observations is, of course, the fact that there is a subjective human aspect to the process. Regardless of how much training an evaluator has, it is still impossible, without the use of playback technology, to catch all of the criterion being searched for without missing at least one or two items. Additionally, as mentioned by Waters, different observers will definitely pick up on different aspects of the lesson, and even if both observers, or two observers in the same room, choose the exact same segment of the lesson on which to focus, they may rank the content of the segment quite differently. Although it was tested at the university level and discussed peer classroom evaluations, a study conducted by Hammersley, Fletcher, and Orsmond in 2007 found that at a minimum, these observers can at least spark a departmental conversation that may ignite positive change in a program. Participants' main concern in this survey was the level of expertise of the evaluators. This concern, though, seems to be irrelevant, to gifted program evaluations, as long as the evaluator proves his or her expertise to the stakeholders from the beginning of the evaluation. As, quote, experts in the field of gifted program evaluation, it is key to be sensitive to the environments of the schools which are being evaluated, and some of the concerns of stakeholders may be calmed by simply providing a short resume of sorts, which details the varied experience and expertise of the evaluator and his or her team. It is again key for the criticisms and suggestions of the evaluators, however small, to be at least discussed by the gifted program team members after the evaluator has left his or her suggestions for the program. Van Tassel, Baska, and Fang state that teachers oftentimes are uncomfortable with the observation process, and a discussion before, during, and after observation by the evaluators may make teachers and other stakeholders feel more comfortable with the entire process of observation and evaluation. However, no matter what the observation or evaluation method, the desired end result will always be to make positive improvements to any gifted classroom, curriculum, or program. Beginning the evaluation process with the end goal in mind, the satisfaction of the stakeholders, will ensure success for any evaluation process. A successful evaluation process and satisfied stakeholders will hopefully then lead to an increased individual successes for individual gifted students in the evaluated program.